first time I've seen you in a very long time. I guess the proper way to do this is just how are you feeling? How are you doing? How was the off season? How's everything going?
Hey, I think we're doing good. I love our team this year. We returned some valuable players, and I do think that we're ahead of where we were last year at this time. And the kids are hungry and they're ready to get started and working hard every day.
Is there anything specifically you said that you feel like y'all are in a better place than y'all were at this time last year? Is there anything specifically you can point to?
It takes a little bit when a new coach comes in to get their system down and for us to get used to our players. And I feel like our chemistry is a lot better than it's ever been. And not that it wasn't good last year, but I think that we've built on that. We know each other very well. We know what to expect now. All those younger ones have a year under their belts. And I think they've retained information that we left off with last year better than some classes do. We end up starting over on some of those things, but they've retained that information, especially defensively, and knowing what we want on that end. And so we are able to dive into more details on that end and maybe add a few things.
Philosophically, for this season, like you said, you have a year under their belts, everything like that. Is there anything that you're going to be changing, whether it's on the court, off the court, being that they kind of have some more experience in what you want to do on the floor?
We're just going to hold them accountable. We're going to do what we always do, and we're going to take one day at a time. I do think we've got to stay positive, but at the same time, we've got to push them to their limits, each player, and make them better some way on and off the floor. This team is very mature. I think that they know that we're out to make them better. They trust us with that. As a coaching staff, we give them a lot of respect, and they give us a lot of respect. So we're able to coach them hard, and I appreciate that. I love every single one of those kids just because of how hard they work and how passionate they are about the game of basketball. And that allows us as a coaching staff to help them.
And this is my last one for you. Everyone, has their own definition of success. So when you envision the word success for this season, what are some things that come to mind?
When I think about success, always it's we're going to leave this season better than we started it. And that is something that we're focused on. Obviously, winning a conference tournament title last year was awesome. I don't think we're satisfied with it. I think this team is hungry for more than that, and I don't think by any means we were happy about the way it ended last year. I think it ended too short, so we are definitely after a national title.
Looking back to last week, y'all checked in at #1 in the LSC preseason poll. Sawyer Lloyd, co-player of the year. I know from a coaching standpoint, y'all don't really try and focus on that, but going off what y'all did last year, what do you think that does for this team's confidence leading into this season?
They worked hard for that, and I do think that they've got the nation's attention now, and that's exactly where we want to be. We're going to go into this season with a target on our back. We train every day that way, and so I do think that they are ready and prepared for that. As a coaching staff, you're never as ready as you quite want to be going into that first scrimmage, especially if it's against Rice. But I think that's going to be a great challenge for us, and I think it's going to be something good going. That's a good first start going into the Montana games that actually are real games. And so, and Sawyer, she can take that pressure. She can be that player. She can be the preseason player of the year, and she can take that on her shoulders and go prove it. And she is. She's a very good player. But until we prove something, none of that really matters. And so that's what we're going to be focused on, is taking one game at a time and knocking them off.
And then the competition this week, obviously y'all want to come away with a win, as everyone does, but what are you wanting to see from your team on the floor that shows that what y'all have been working on is translating into the competition?
I think mainly just execution. I think that that's something that we've focused on mostly this preseason, along with hard work, and I know that probably every coach in the nation is going to say that, but details matter, and so we want to make sure that we're all on the same page. The quicker that we can get our chemistry and read each other the best we can, the better team we're going to be when January comes. in March and when it all counts. And so that's mainly what we're going to be focused on. I also want to make sure that, we're doing all the fundamentals correctly, and that's what we're focused on.
And Coach, you say that this team has higher aspirations in a conference championship because obviously you completed that last year. What is it going to take that next step? Because we all know that you didn't get the result you wanted last year, especially in that final game. Like it was close. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah.
What is it going to take this year to take that next step?
Well, I want to first say that the LSC is not an easy conference to play in. The coaches are amazing. The teams are very competitive. They all play hard and they execute well. In order for us to go further than we did last year, I do believe there's a little bit of luck that's involved with, all the pieces fitting in the right place at the right time. But more importantly, I think we have to come in and win each day. And that includes the classroom. We fight that. That's something that the public doesn't see. But our players understand that classroom is really important to take care of. And so we've just got to come into each day and push harder. And, that's all we know to do is, that was good, but we got to be better, obviously, because we finished short last year. And so even if it's as small as setting a screen right, you got to do it better. You got to block out more. You can't get out rebounded, and that's the things that we can control. And if I were to answer that in one sentence, it would be to control the things we can control, and make sure that we're not letting that part of our game down.
What are you expecting to see from the other schools at the tip-off classic?
I'm excited about the Tip-Off Classic in Montana because those teams have proven to be some of the top in the nation, and it's going to be a good test for us. I do believe in having a strong preseason schedule just because I do think that that's what it's going to take in order for us to be prepared for our conference. And so I'm excited to see what our girls bring and the challenges that they're going to face. We've always said from day one, there's going to be adversity, and how you respond to that depends a lot on how this thing's going to end. And you've got to be able to bounce right back up when you get knocked back down. And so that's the main thing. I don't know if it's going to be pretty out there, being so early in the season. But I do think that it gives us an opportunity to grow each game.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.